Black Panther, aka T'Challa, from the movie Black Panther. We're going to take a look at the Marvel Legends series, this beautiful piece that they designed from the movie. We're going to take a look at the character design, see how well he resembles T'Challa, and how well the Black Panther character was designed in terms of this action figure. It comes with a piece of pair of fisted hands, as well as the clawed hands, the vibranium clawed hands, and it also comes with a head sculpt of resembling, or we'll talk about that, how much it resembles Chadwick Boseman, aka T'Challa from the movie. And we'll have a look at as well at the face sculpt, the mask sculpt, and how well that the character design on this suit resembles the same character design that we see from the vibranium suit in the movie. This is from the Marvel Legends line, so it comes with a Build-A-Figure, a Okoye, so you've got the collection of other characters from the line to collect, including Killmonger, we have Nakia, Black Bolt, and the Sumerian, Neymar the Sumerian, and it also comes with a bonus as Iron Man as well, as an additional figure that you can collect. But the first 5 figures make up the Okoye figure to build a figure. But anyway, today we're going to look at T'Challa and we're going to see how well the articulation and the character design resembles the King of Wakanda.
Okay, so we're just going to compare the likeness of this figure to the movie figure. Obviously this is based on the movie figure, so let's just have a look. As you can see, it's pretty good. So this is an actual official movie special book and that I picked up, and if you look at the design here, the likeness is pretty good. You know, you can obviously pose him in that kind of pose. You know, if I try and do that now, let's see how I do. It's not perfect, but let's try and do something similar. Dun, 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 dun. And here we go. See? Very similar in design. Even, again, the articulation allows you to pose him in all these movie poses that you see him in. Here is the Black Panther T'Challa. As you can see with Chadwick Boseman, like that's what Chadwick Boseman looks like. It did come with this headpiece, which is way too light. I mean, the skin tone, it looks a bit lighter than really what his skin tone is. I think the Marvel Legends piece before had a better skin tone in terms of the likeness to him, you know. But the facial features of this is pretty good, you know. It is pretty decent. So, I mean, as you can see here, like it does look pretty good. So it comes with that, and it comes also with these 2 kind of fist hand pieces as well. So if you wanted to pose him like that, you can. But yeah, in terms of the movie, I mean, these are the designs for the character designs. Obviously that's Killmonger, but in terms of T'Challa, the likeness is pretty good. So, even if we compare it with this book, which is The Art of the Black Panther movie, it's a brilliant book piece to pick up if you haven't. Some great designs on here. So the character design, as you can see here, where you got Killmonger and Panther in his new suit. Obviously, it's more advanced than the Civil War one. It's got the really good likeness to the suit. And if we look inside the actual book, which is pretty good. So here it is. Discover Wakanda. It's got a picture of Africa on the side, on the back. Yeah, some of the character designs on there are fabulous. So that's just similar to the one we saw in the other book. And basically Ryan Murading, I think his name is. Probably pronouncing it wrong. Please forgive me, Ryan, if you're watching this. So he did a lot of the character designs for the suit, the new suit. Obviously, they wanted it to be different, more advanced than the Civil War one. As we see, it's got the vibranium, a kinetic energy blaster that runs throughout the suit. So when he's hit by bullets and different things, even like strikes, like he can redistribute the energy. So Shuri designed that new suit for him, and a lot of the designs are here. And they said that they wanted, like Ryan Coogler, the director, wanted it to be more like the Brian Stelfreeze run, you know, like you see like the points on his ears, be more like an angry cat kind of thing, make it a bit more aggressive, a bit more warrior-like. And I mean, those little details are really important. So here is the suit when it's lit up, you know, with the vibranium kinetic energy ready for distribution. You don't see that on this figure. There are other figures that have that glow, you know. So obviously the Hot Toys and things like that, you can turn lights on within the figures and see that. So these are some of the character designs. That looks very similar to Ta-Nehisi Coates' run of Black Panther, the pose and the way that the character is designed. So they go through all these different iterations of the design of the character. You know, remember, he's a warrior, so he's going to have different suits of armor for different iterations of the character and different kind of figures, you know, different situations. So this is an upgrade from the Civil War costume, which I really liked. And the first time I saw this, I didn't like it as much, but I've grown to like it a lot, especially because it's more advanced. So I mean, this figure really does the piece justice, you know, and he sees that figure is more the Civil War figure, how it was. It's more close to the Civil War design. So he's got these claws, the retractable claws, so he uses those as weapons, those blades. And yes, even the necklace design is a bit different to the one you see here from in these stages, but you see it's getting closer to that design. And there's Chadwick Boseman, nice little figure of him. And as you can see, like the pointy ear figure. But then, as you see with the cowl, it's very ninja-like. So, I mean, here it's got an appearance of a ninja. You can see his eyes. I like that. So you get a bit of the emotion in there. He's got the retractable eyepiece. So obviously when bullets are shooting at him and he needs to be armored, he can put the eyepiece down. When he wants to be more emotional, like you see in the movie with Claw, when he comes up to Claw, then that eyepiece retracts and you can actually see the emotion through his eyes. And that's a really good piece that they added to the suit. And here you can see a lot more of the design, you know, again, the likeness is getting more like this figure here, which is the final figure we saw in the movie. Here you can see like how they designed it across from his face. For me, it looks like they've looked at his head mold and then they've kind of sculpted the piece onto his they sculpted the piece from his facial expression almost, and from his head. I think that really adds a bit of a personal touch to the suit, you know. So it's different to obviously T'Chaka, his father. You know, that suit's a lot different, a lot better, a lot different than this suit. I actually thought the T'Chaka suit was better, actually. He had the African garm on it, which was pretty cool. And you can see closer here, you can see the design, so the Wakandan designs for the vibranium energy distribution source that runs through the suit. So he's got his culture in the design, you know, which is really good. And this necklace piece, I always like this necklace piece on Panther. One, it's kind of symbol of his kind of African heritage, and two, it's very warrior-like, you know. It seems like a traditional kind of African warrior would wear a piece like that, you know. Something you might see Shaka Zulu wearing, or, you know, one of these kind of warriors, you know. Even the Maasai warriors, they kind of wear these necklace pieces and things like that, these neck pieces. They have kind of, well, not exactly like this, but they have pieces that kind of represent their culture within their armor, you know. So I thought that's a really nice touch to the Panther suit. So yeah, some good designs here. It's really good to see the progression of the suit and how it kind of progressed, you know. So that's in terms of this book. This is a fantastic book, definitely worth getting your hands on. But yeah, this design is absolutely beautiful, and yeah, it's very much like the movie. So again, Panther being a warrior, this needs to be functional. He's very acrobatic, so the design needed to be very minimalist. And I think Ryan, the designer, he said that him and Ryan Coogler were trying to figure out, like, how can they make it so that the suit is memorable, but it's not too much to it, you know. It doesn't feel like, because it needs to be a bit minimalist, but they don't want it to be too minimalist so that it's not memorable. And I think they did a great job here, because you can see with the designs here, the silver pieces here, especially on the boots here, you got the silver design here that lead into even the footwear, you know. These little details make the suit a lot more memorable. You know, you got it here as well, the claws, the silver claws, you know. So it's a great piece, and again, does a justice to the movie, so definitely worth adding to your collection of action movies, figures and warrior figures.
So let's check the articulation of this character piece and see how well it resembles T'Challa, and how well we can get him in some really good fighting poses that resemble the Black Panther's fighting style.
So this piece is very nicely designed, very similar to the movie. As you can see, you know, the cowl, the patterns even on the suit, the vibranium patterns, or the Wakandan symbols are very, if you can see, they have the details on there, which is really good. The articulation's pretty decent. I mean, head moves up all the way, moves down, kind of doesn't move side to side as much, but it can do a bit of movement. So you can pose him in different positions. He has a ab crunch that goes forward like that, and then backwards like this. He has a waist swivel, which is pretty good. Does cause a bit of gappage here that you need to watch out for. And he has his arms, they rotate all the way, as you can see. He has a bicep swivel, which is pretty good. His wrists, they rotate. They can be manipulated like this and this way here. You know, so the claws, you can put them in some dynamic poses, and it's kind of got a butterfly joint in the shoulders as well, so you can bring him back like this, you know, obviously forward like that, which is pretty good. Leg goes out this far, so you can do some kicking, you know, so because obviously Panther is a martial artist, so you do want to move him in that kind of direction, be able to pose him in that kind of way. Goes back about that far, which isn't brilliant, but it's not bad at all. Okay, so you can do the splits that much, so you can have him doing some high kicks, and his knee joint goes this far forward. He has an ankle, ball hinge kind of ankle manipulation. You know, it can swivel that way. So you can pose him in quite a few dynamic poses. So the articulation on this is pretty good for a lot of good martial arts poses, and as you can see. So yeah, it's a good piece in terms of that, in terms of its dynamic range of movement, and I think that's important for warrior figure like Black Panther. T'Challa is again, of course, he's a martial artist, and he's very acrobatic, so you want to be able to pose him in different positions, you know, and it's pretty good for that, you know.